Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and today, I know it's been a while since I posted, but here is everything we know about, or every possible ending for the Amazing Digital Circus. Here is the first ending. So, the most likely ending for the Amazing Digital Circus is they all get trapped there. Since Kane is now gone, aka the person controlling the whole entire circus, putting in the filters and swearing and everything, even building the whole circus himself, we can see that everything is starting to fall apart. And at the end of that, since Kane created the circus from a blank slate, that means the whole circus will be destroyed if he's gone. And he is gone, so that's most likely going to happen. If the circus is destroyed, like it probably would, then we are going to see all of the characters drift off into the void. Now, what we know about the void is not much besides a couple voice lines from Kane himself, stating that he does not know what is in the void. Except that isn't necessarily true, because in a different voice line, we saw him say that the void has spoilers of what is coming up. That is in, I believe, episode 1. Both of these voice lines are in episode 1. So, here are the voice lines.
Oh no! Someone's venturing out into the void! It'll get totally spoiled!
So, that was the first line. We saw him state that if they do go into the void, which Pomni did go into the void, then she's going to get spoiled on what may be coming next. Except that contradicts what he already has said. And here's what he did say.
Is the void. We don't venture out into the void. Not even I know what's out there.
So, Kane states that he does not know what is in the void. Except, is that true? We do not know. Because he states a different statement that you already saw that contradicts this, but this also contradicts that. So, we don't entirely know. However, what we do know about the void is the fact that in the void, there is no end to the void. If you look on his wacky watch over here, we can clearly see that the void is far, far from the center, which means that it probably stretches on for many miles and miles. If we look at the stats here, we can't really see all the information displayed on that. However, what someone was able to decode is this. It's kind of blurry, but we can see that it states 3 kilometers, which can mean a couple of different things. First thing this could mean is that they are 3 kilometers from the, the grounds, aka the circus, and that Pomni's already out floating 3 kilometers from this area. This is highly likely because... What was I talking about again? Oh, right. Ending 2. Ending 2 is an abstraction. Specifically, Jax's abstraction. In episode 8, which I'm not going to go back to, he was close to abstracting. After the voice line that we heard from him, it's real. And that voice line is now, because of that voice line, we know that he thought that this wasn't real and that this was all a dream and a figure of his imagination. However, it is not, and, well, in episode 7, he was close to abstracting too. He literally went through the abstracting sequence. If he was close to abstraction by one tiny itty bitty detail about Zubul pouring water on him, then we know that since Kane is gone, he's probably completely crazy. Also, I don't have the exact footage or soundtrack of this, but from a quote-unquote leaked soundtrack from episode 9, we can hear water in the background. Where else did we see water? Oh, right. The cellar. See this near the bottom? That is water. You can clearly see it sloshing around. And you just heard water drop sounds in the background. Also, I really like these light ripples on the water there. I think that's really cool. And since we hear water, that ties in to our third and final ending, which I think can happen. What was I talking about again? Oh, right. The third and final ending possible is with no ringmaster. There is no one to lead the circus, which means no one to keep the abstractions in the cellar, which means that the abstractions are probably going to get out. And that is muy malo. Because if the abstractions were to get out, then that means that everyone is going to get glitched, and Kane is the only person who can fix that. If you look back in the pilot, which this isn't the pilot, this is a parody of the pilot. This video that I'm on. If you look back in the pilot, you can see after Kaufmo attacked Ragatha, then we saw that Ragatha got glitchy and abstraction-y. I'm just gonna call it glitchy. And if all of the abstracteds were to come out, Kaufmo, Ribbit, Scratch, the other ones that we saw at the beginning, Queenie, all of those little fellas, then we, that'd be very bad. And everyone would die. Or get glitchy. Those are all the endings that I can think of in the Digital Circus, and what would happen if, and now, that Kane is gone. Leave your thoughts on what might happen in the ending in The Amazing Digital Circus in the comments below, and I'll try to read all of them. See you guys in the next video, and toodles.